L'Oreal to present his proposal. The title is Empowering Paratransit Services in Developing Countries for Clean Energy Transition and Climate Action. You are given 15 minutes for presentation, and there will be 5 minutes for question and answer. Prof, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, and to the distinguished participants, thank you very much. So I'll be presenting the update. This is actually an ongoing work that we're doing at the University of the Philippines, National College of Public Administration and Governance, where I also teach, and Safe Travel, which is also an NGO spin-off of the university. So for the background, informal transport on paratransit continues to play a significant role in urban transport systems of developing countries due to equity, affordability, accessibility, and usefulness dimensions. And in the case of the Philippines, you have seen the previous slide where I showed the Philippine jeepney. The country's low-carbon transport policy as a response to climate change mitigation challenges is actually hinged on the transformation of this jeepney industry as a strategy. And so in 2017, massive reforms were rolled out by the Department of Transportation through what we call the Public Utility Vehicle Modernization Program, or PUVMP. Now, the PUVMP program actually had or is suffering from bottlenecks and resistance from existing jeepney operators. And one of the requirements would be the transformation of individual operators to now what we call transport service entities through cooperatives. So the target of this research is to develop a platform to empower transport cooperatives and all concerned government agencies through technology-driven solutions to optimize route planning, fleet management, and to access climate financing. So the key challenges here that we're addressing, just to name a few, would be the issue of lack of subsidy and fiscal support by government. There is about 240,000 of these individual jeepney operators which must be transformed into a system. And of course, there are other costs to modernization, including, of course, labor, capital cost, and operational costs. And so we also look at the capacity issue of these individual operators to operate now as an organization. So the strategic approach would be to support the low-carbon transition of transport cooperatives through what we call better ESG. So this is environment, social, and governance risk management practices, and bringing operations with green and climate financing. I'll show that in the next series of slides. So this project was supported last year by the AVPN, the Asian Venture Philanthropic Network, which is supported by Google and ADB. So the Parasol, we call it, is designed to address the specific needs of transport service entities, helping them to improve what we call through their multi-level efficiency enhancements. And this will include or at the level of the city, organizational, route, driver, and vehicle. So there are levels to what the intervention should be. And we integrate it to what we call the Safe Travel PH crowdsourcing app, which was developed by the university. So in terms of the method, we are building here 4 components to address this web of issues. One is through route network and service planning. And this will link with the development of local public transport route plans, support business intelligence and fleet management system, where all operators now could be potentially in one subsystem or rolling out at each city level. What we call MRV and benchmarking tools. So these are monitoring, reporting, and verification systems that are, I think, available now in terms of the ASEAN initiative. And finally, access to financing and investments. So this is very important because the investment need is very sizable, not only in terms of changing the vehicle, but since we are also promoting electric mobility, investing in charging facility, etc., and all the needed capital cost would be very timely and needed. So some of the work that we're doing in terms of the research is, there are two. One is developing, what we call a multi-feed trip segmentation pipeline. So this is an ETL pipeline, extract, transform, and load pipeline, where each of these operators operating individually hopefully can now be analyzed and their operations be synchronized. So we also developed there, how do we trace the trips. Second one is try to roll out a smart contract solution to manage what we call their weekly kilometer token. So this is incentivizing good operations. So we monitor by telematics the vehicle operations, the fuel consumption, the driver behavior, and even the ratings by commuters. So you see there the pipeline. Now, what are the impact here? So you can see here on the slide the app that has been developed. So this has been rolled out in several cities in the Philippines. So one is, we are getting real-time location and occupancy of these vehicles. The commuters and the regulators can now have access to route information and stop locations. The commuters can actually participate by doing their quality rating of each of the individual operators in terms of the cleanliness of the vehicle, the driver behavior, and even the responsiveness of the operators. And then, and so these are transmitted on the cloud. And on the same platform, drivers also can monitor in real time their operations. So previously they're operating individually, but now the organization can now monitor their operations in terms of, again, real-time location and occupancy. And we can now even measure and evaluate eco-driving behavior. So the idea is analytics, as you can see there, looking at route design and even KPIs. So what are the impact that we're looking at here? So we have identified recurring and unresolved issues that still needs to be addressed. And this will include rigid planning formulas, because obviously in many cities, the paratransit modes are quite different across many cities in the Philippines. And to include as well, subsidy systems can now be potentially integrated into the system, and more KPIs and reporting can be done. The capacity of the local governments, under our local government code, there is no dedicated system for local planning. So we don't have local planning boards. It's highly national. But because of this change or the shift in the policy, the local governments now need to plan for their own public transport, and this could very well be the platform to enable that. But we need collaborative governance. So that's why in the university we have established a spin-off, an NGO spin-off to do that. So for the output and the outcome to date, we tried to establish actually collaboration. This is I think that's the most effective thing. So we do a lot of meetings with many stakeholders, because there's a lot of these stakeholders that are part of the system. So we do research and policy discussions, collaborative research agreements, and even publish our findings through scientific journals. So these are some of the field work that we have been doing. Also recently, our spin-off NGO has been officially accredited by the House of the Representatives as a civil society organization to take part in the 2026 national budget deliberations. So we are championing better budget and roll out for this modernization. And so we do a lot of these meetings with congressional planning and even lawmakers, trying to brief them, how do you achieve, greater investment in public transport and still meet our greenhouse gas emission targets and clean energy transition. So finally, to conclude, so Parasol is a pioneering effort in this field, but still needs a lot of work in terms of really getting decision makers on board in climate financing. Existing ESG-related services tend to focus on larger companies, leaving the smaller transport service cooperatives with significant risk exposures without adequate support. So hopefully this can support that system. And by bridging the gap, Parasol not only addresses the specific challenges faced by transport service cooperatives, but also empower them to engage with climate financing opportunities. And as also noted by the OECD, the increased risk faced by informal transport operators is high, but their contribution is significant in the economy. So that has to be addressed as well. And finally, hopefully this platform can provide an open data system that can be replicated as well in other ASEAN economies for other use cases to build a resilient public transport network. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof. So I open the floor for question and answer.
Thank you for the presentation. My question is actually in the first, you are talking about informal transport or paratransit. Yes, informal transport. And you want to apply some sort of improvement for that paratransport using ICT, and everything. Now, my question is, since it is informal transport, I mean the driver is also the owner of the car. Does he or she report to a particular organization? And if the driver doesn't follow the regulation or the process, the procedures, which is needed by the platform, will he or she get the sanction? Okay, you cannot drive for 1 week or 1 month or what? Because if it is formal transport, the driver will certainly get a sanction. But if it is informal, what will happen to them? Thank you.
Thank you very much for that question. Actually, that's the transition that is happening in the modernization effort of government. So individual operators now join a transport service entity, in this case, transport cooperatives, and the cooperative actually subscribe to a route plan crafted by the local government, and they have KPIs. They have service agreements that they have to follow. But the thing is, there is no robust system to monitor compliance. And so I think ICT plays a role there. We did some work on some rollout, and certainly this needs greater support from government, but I think the technology should also be there, that is scalable, that's secure, and that also can meet the investment needs. So a lot of these operators are saying, and even this new cooperative are saying, there's not much investment coming to us. The subsidy is very small. They have to upgrade their unit. They also have to pay their drivers regularly. So I think that's the way the ICT should play a key role.
Any more questions from the floor? Prof? 5 minutes.
Thank you. The platform that you're talking about, some driver doesn't have lower digital literacy, and how do you manage the accessibility to this system?
Thank you very much for that question. One way to go about this is actually to use an app. So at the basic level, we use an app that can run on not so high specifications for mobile phone. But I think it's very important to show that once you get this data, that they can appreciate that, that their behavioral change can actually provide better outcomes for them in terms of incentives. And that's why in the platform that we're building, we operationalize this concept of quality kilometer, or QKM. And we also bring in the commuter's perspective. So the commuter actually rates the quality of the driving, whether they are on time or they are not overspeeding, whether they follow the route, or whether they clean their vehicles. So all of these are being sort of piloted, but very important in our research is that we have to develop this system with the government, with the operators, with the cooperatives, with the drivers, and with the commuters in one table. So we cannot sort of impose the formula, or we cannot impose the incentive scheme. So we have to do everything in a collaborative way. So that's, I think, the major challenge that we're facing. But we continue to advocate for it.
Thank you. Questions? If not, then I do have one. It seems that I was looking at the data. Jeepney constitute about maybe 30-35% of land consumption, land transport fuel consumption, which is, I think, very big. So in terms of the energy transition, what about EV? Is it because of the cost of electricity in Philippines very high? Does it probably one of viable alternative?
Yes, thank you very much. I think the pushback is really the cost of the unit. So now the individual EV unit would be something like 2 million pesos. So it's very high. That individual operators that becoming part of a new entity find it very difficult to maintain, unless there are upsides in terms of their daily revenue. So I think the transition to e-mobility should also be part of really modernizing the route operations. So as we speak, for example, there are many what we call illegal operators. Some actually are supportive of the program, some don't. And that's to some extent bringing down those who have adopted. So what we're trying to say is that the system should be able to support them in a major way, and for the safety of the commuters as well, and of course to achieve our greenhouse our climate targets. So it's very important I think to say the framing is very important. That's why in the last few slides I show, it's very important to discuss this with the lawmakers as well, because they command the budget. For example, just this year, very few budget was given to modernization.
And I think you have to deal with multiple layers of regulators, I think.
That's correct. Many regulators, national, local, and even on the ground.
What about the incentive? Is there any moment maybe you can extend the monetization of the initiative? Maybe whoever participate in the route optimization, maybe fleet modernizations. Is it possible to maybe monetize the carbon reduction with some kind of financial help or whatever?
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. for that suggestion. Actually, we made some presentation as well. It would be good if that, we can shift some of the green financing to this sector. That will really be a great help. And that's why our framework is ESG, because that has been the go-to framework for many private industries. So we're saying at a smaller scale, we have operators, but their impact, if you are able to mobilize those financing to fund modernization, that will really have an impact on the environment, and in each of the individual operators as well.
Okay, last call. Going once. Okay, Prof, thank you very much.
Thank you very
Give a
much.
round of applause to Prof. Okay, next we're going to have Rotini Lai, Nepmat, and Kim Ho Yan from Cambodia Academy of Digital Technology. The presentation will be on Braille, translators for low-resource languages in ASEAN, use case from Khmer Braille. Okay, we have 15 minutes per presentation.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, distinguished guests, ASEAN IVO colleagues, and respected researchers. My name is Matnap from Cambodia Academy of Digital Technology. It's my honor to be here today to present our work on Khmer Braille translator for low-resource language in ASEAN, use case from Khmer Braille language. So let me start with some background. As you can see in the figure, there are many people, including Cambodia, visually impaired. However, in Cambodia, still there are many students that have very limited access to Braille material for their learning. So also the Braille printer is very expensive for most schools. We have to spend a lot to produce the Braille document. So our goal is to create a system, create a knowledge-based system that can convert between Khmer text to Khmer Braille. And we also want to develop a low-cost Braille printer. So here, this slide shows why Khmer language is very difficult to process. As you can see here, there are 5 layers of the characters. We have vowel, we have subscript, and so on. And there is no spaces between words, which is cause a lot of error when we try to convert between Khmer text to Khmer Braille. So because of these challenges, our goal to build a translation system and also to create a low-cost Braille printer. And to achieve the goal, we have set several key targets. First, we would like to develop a Braille translation system and also create a user-friendly web application. And we also want to build a low-cost Braille printer, since the Braille printer, if we want a high capacity of Braille printer, we need to spend a lot. Actually, based on my research, if we want a high capacity of Braille printer, we need to spend a lot of money, such as like depends on the capacity of the printer. We have one at National Institute for Special Education in Cambodia. It costs around 50K for Braille printer, so, which is very expensive. And we also want to promote digital inclusion for visually impaired learners. And last but not least, we also want to expand this Braille translation system in low-resource ASEAN language. And let me introduce about the methodology for our system. So our system uses rule-based methodologies, which first we create a Khmer text to Khmer Braille dictionary that cover all the character from Khmer and Khmer Braille, and then we perform character segmentation by using Khmer character cluster, and then we apply the rule base to check the order of the word and also order of the vowels and numbers. And we also validate this output with teacher at National Institute for Special Education to make sure that the output is accurate. And here is the methodology for Braille printer. So basically, we want to create something that low cost, since we know that the Braille printer with high capacity is expensive, so we try to make our own, which is low cost. And for the mechanical design, we get inspiration by open source Braille wrap, but we significantly customize. We add LCD for control panel, and also we use photoelectric sensor for paper safety. We also use PUM. It is material to produce the hardware to build this printer. It is strength, low cost, and low cost, and to build the machine. And we also use software, open software, Marron firmware to convert G code. And we use Marron firmware, and we use stepper motor for movement, and we use Python, we have developed a Python tool to convert between G-code to, to convert between Braille Unicode to G-code for printing. And here is the full explode assembly view and component list in the Braille printer. So it has a simple design so that teachers, especially in rural area, they can easily to understand and maintain it. And for our work, we bring 3 categories of impact. The impact on scientific and technology core, we have developed a rule-based Khmer Braille translation system and affordable Braille printer. And we also improve access to the educational information for visually impaired people, promoting digital inclusion and narrowing the education gap in Cambodia, especially for National Institute for Special Education. And about the impact on collaboration, we have a stronger collaborative between Cambodia Academy of Digital Technology and National Institute for Special Education also. And we hope this we can have a collaboration with low resource languages in ASEAN as well. And as a result from the system, so we have developed a Braille translation system which is convert between Khmer text to Khmer Braille. And in this case, after translation, the user can also download it, or they can, if they have Braille display device, they don't need to print it out. They can just use Braille display device to display the Braille printer. So visually impaired people can just read from the Braille display device, or if they don't have Braille display device, they also can download it and print with our printer, which is a low-cost Braille printer. And for the societal, this project also provides accessible tool for teachers and students with visual impairment about the collaborative established network for Cambodian and institute and special educator. And for this slide, I would like to discuss about the future work and our plans. So for this project in the future, we plan to add more scientific symbols such as physics, chemistry, and math. And we also want to finalize the prototype of our low-cost Braille printer. We also want to extend Braille translation and printing system to low-resource ASEAN languages, especially focusing on the rural area. And we also want to establish ASEAN Braille technology network to share data set, to share the translation rule and also hardware designs. And we also looking for a collaboration and partnership through ASEAN IVO forum to jointly develop regional Braille solutions. So let me summary a brief conclusion for this work. So in this project, we have a developed accessible Khmer Braille translation and printing system that to promote a digital inclusion for visually impaired communities. And for the methodology, we have used knowledge-based mapping, which we create a dictionary to map between Khmer text to Khmer Braille. And we achieve high translation accuracy. Actually, this accuracy we have validated with the teacher at National Institute for Special Education for ensure that the output is correct, the output is accurate. The accuracy around 99, because right now they are using it, the system, the teacher at NICT, they are using this system. And we also plan to expand the system to other ASEAN languages and build a regional Braille technology network through ASEAN IVO collaboration. And as I know, I would like to add a little bit here. As I know, right now there are for national institutes, there are 4 special education schools in Phnom Penh, also 4 provinces are using this system to convert between Khmer text to Khmer Braille. But for the Braille printer, we're still in a developing process. And here is our team from CADT and from Cambodia Academy of Digital Technology, CADT, and National Institute for Special Education, NISE. I would like to thank to everyone for their hard work and support. So that's all for my presentation, and thank you for your listening, and we welcome for a collaboration. I am happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Questions from the floor, please? Yep, Prof.
Thank you for your presentation. I see it's a very practical use with your proposal. However, I am surprised that there are two ways to produce the output. The first one, you can choose an existing braille printer, so you do not need to develop the hardware. And the second one is you have to build the hardware from the material component, hardware component. Why do you not use an existing hardware printer?
Okay.
Do you have already one survey?
Yeah, thank you very much for your question. So as I mentioned, like for the braille printer, the reason why we try to get our own printer because the existing printer costs very expensive. Like if we want a high capacity of printer, it can cost around 50K. So that's why we try to build our low cost braille printer. So in this printer, including everything, is around 250, including everything like delivery fee and stuff, which have a lot.
Okay with you? Okay, any more questions from the floor? Going once, twice. Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Natmat, for your presentation. Give a round of applause to her. Okay, that's conclude our session on the topic of usage of ICT in inclusive digital services and governance. So I'll pass back to the floor. All right, thank you very much.